Welcome back to Recreation Atlanta for the WPH Race for 8. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink for the men's 5th place final between Emmett Peixoto and Vic Perez. Both players are in the court warming up right now, Dave, as you sat here and watched, and you also played against Emmett Peixoto, but you watched these players yesterday and how the whole tournament kind of got started here on ESPN, and you have a tale of two different tapes. What's your take back from Vic Perez and also Emmett Peixoto's road to 5th place, which is, by the way, one of the most prestigious things you can win at a race stop is 5th.
Vic Perez has played the least amount of handball of pretty much anyone in this tournament. He won 2 games against Martin. That match only took about 45 minutes. Then lost in 2 games against Daniel Cordova and got a forfeit into the 5th final. So he's only played 4 games in this event so far. Emmett beat John Iglesias in 2 games, lost to Killian in 2 games, and then beat me yesterday in the 5th place semifinal. Vic has had Emmett's number over the last 2 years. Beat him in the playoffs last year 3 times. None of those matches were close. Now, these guys play at the LAAC when Emmett visits his in-laws in Los Angeles, and Emmett beats them every time they play in practice, and he beats them badly, but when they play in the playoffs, he doesn't beat them.
Yeah.
And for years, Emmett had Vic's number. If you go back to 2012, 2013, when Vic just started on the tour, Emmett was beating Vic pretty easily, and that has flipped. Now, I thought Emmett played and moved the best I've seen him since 2014. Yesterday when I played him, if he's able to do that and put the ball down and move his feet and retrieve like he did, it's going to be a hard morning for Vic.
I agree with you. No, I mean, he does look a little bit different. It seems like maybe mentally he's in a better place.
Well, Emmett said that his course load in his PhD program has lessened, so he's had more time to train, and he feels like, you know, that extra training and getting 2-on-1 matches 3 or 4 times a week is helping him play better. And it was very noticeable yesterday playing him. His shots were very crisp, and
he also mentioned,
errors.
you know, that he's still doing a lot of reading with his schooling.
Yeah.
But he's doing it now on a Peloton bicycle cycle. So he said, now I'm able to actually read and work out at the exact same time, as opposed to just sitting down and reading for 8 hours straight or correcting homework and all the stuff that he does with his personal life. So, you know, that's definitely going to help. But it seems like mentally he's in a different place, a better place.
Yeah, he seemed burned out and frustrated at the end of last season, like he didn't even want to play. And now he seems like he's got a lot of enthusiasm
you won the coin toss, right?
for competing. And I was surprised he didn't do better against Killian yesterday, because Killian made a lot of errors against Emmett. I didn't think Killian played well, but yet he still beat Emmett 15-8, 15-7. And just watching that match, it looked like, you know, Emmett had a good chance to actually win that.
Yeah, because there was a couple times where Emmett, in one of those matches, the first one I think, or maybe the second, where he was just a point or 2 away from Killian, who just flipped a switch and then bursted to the 15th point. But up until that moment, Emmett hung pretty well. But it's daunting to play Killian, and after a while, it just gets it becomes more difficult.
It seems to me that Emmett has a good style to play against Killian. So I'm surprised. And Emmett has beat Killian.
We don't have
I'm surprised Emmett,
you guys want some, or? Yeah.
Particularly the way Killian was playing yesterday, was not more competitive. But maybe Emmett played better in his second match than he did against Killian. He said he did. I mean,
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, we got line judges. Yeah. You guys know the signs, right? Agree, disagree. If you agree with my call, yeah. Thanks. You guys ready?
So we did go to the 5-minute trouble of finding linesmen who will not even know what a thumbs up or down
means.
Well,
no, he just solidified that. So they have communication, but that was forced on by Emmett. It's a smart move. You can tell when a veteran player's out there, they say, make sure you get the signals correct with the line judges. So here we go. This is a 1-game match to 25. You have to win by 2. Emmett Peixoto is serving here.
0.
To Vic Perez. Vic from Los Angeles. He's being represented by Los Angeles Athletic Club and Owen Gloves. Emmett Peixoto represents the Olympic Club in San Francisco.
Just judging by the body language in warm-ups and walking into the club, Vic Perez does not look too enthusiastic to play right now. doesn't look like he's feeling that good. Now,
Emmett, on the other hand, did say he felt pretty good.
yeah, well, Emmett looks like he's really ready to battle here today. And now Vic is a poker face, so you don't know, right, what Vic is ever thinking.
Sounded like it broke. But I think it could have been just one of those weird little gaps. Yes, it broke. But go ahead. Vic is...
Vic just looks like he's sauntering around like he's almost like he played hard matches yesterday and he's tired and sore. But like I said, he's played the least amount of handball of anyone here at the club.
But he was pressed pretty hard when he played Daniel Cordova. That's why I was a little surprised when he said he had the least amount. He was in the driver's seat a couple times against Daniel, and he just got winded.
Yeah, I mean, Vic's shots right now just not crisp. I know we're only two rallies in, but that's a terrible shot from Emmett.
But we've seen on these playoffs with Vic over the years where he comes in here really stiff. Halfway through, he breaks open, and then he goes on a run. So this could be an exciting finish here, and that's something we saw, microcosm of round of 16. When Vic defeated Martin Mulkerns, he did so because of multiple ace serves, at least 7 in game number 1. Sean Linning told me later that he counted 12 total between the 2 games.
Right.
12 aces.
Yeah, that's
and
what
you're
I
only
had on
playing
my
to 30.
stat sheet.
You know, you're only playing to 30 points total.
So 40% of his points were ace crackouts.
So you're basically you're getting spotted. 7 points in that first game and 5 in the second. And that's the difference for Martin. But Vic could not locate that against Daniel Cordova yesterday.
Side out.
Vic took 5th here last year in Atlanta. That was a string of 5th place finishes that he had last year.
I think that was against Marcos.
2-0.
Yes. Vic beat Emmett in the 5th place playoffs last year in the semifinals. Beat Emmett quite a bit last year in the 5th place playoffs. Also beat him in Portland. Terrible shot there.
Side out.
It was not Portland, it was Montana and Tucson that he beat Emmett in the 5th.
So 3
place.
times out of what,
3 times out of 3. Is that not unavoidable?
Point.
The ref should have done something, but Emmett gets the point nonetheless. I see so many of these rallies that end in avoidables that are never called by the ref. Maybe I'm the one that needs to be checked up.
Yeah, probably.
My defense to it is I just don't talk about it anymore.
Two serves 2.
That's a nice shot. That's the old Emmett.
Right.
3 serves 2. Side out.
He had a nice open lane there.
Could have hit that one 2 feet high.
I don't know if they have one down. Oh, yeah, sorry.
This could be a very long 1-game match.
Yeah, you're right, it could.
2 serves 3.
Vic still does not look sharp to me right now. Surprisingly, he does not have his mentor and team captain here, Marcos Chavez. Usually Marcos there cheering for Vic.
Marcos flew home.
Oh. This is one of the rare times Marcos is not playing on Sunday.
3 serves 3.
Sadly for us, we lost one of our biggest volunteers
Short
in breaking down the ESPN set.
Yeah, there's lines. You want
That ball was
uphill?
short.
They both agree. Second serve.
You know, if I were a linesman here at this facility, I'd go up in that upper balcony. At least
Or
for
at least stand up.
the right side. That up top is a great view
Right.
of that short. You know, I don't. Also, Dave, I think these guys should ask one of us to be a line judge. I would do it.
Right.
Because this angle right here, you can see fairly well. That's the angle there that I believe our gentleman with the white headphones on
Three, serves three.
gets to see it from the best angle. That should wrap. Doesn't do it. Dies in the backcourt. Good shot from Vic. Keeps that ball down as it goes to that back wall.
13 minutes into this match and only 6 points scored.
Three,
A lot of
serves three.
side outs. Not a lot of long rallies, I wouldn't say.
Short.
Well, we saw 26. Let's see, I think I get my points right here.
Second
26
serve.
or 27 points yesterday in 11 minutes when Marcos played Sean Linning in that first game.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see an 11-minute match, you don't expect to see 27 points. Marcos winning
Four, serves three.
15-12, something like that in game number 1
Against Sean?
against Sean.
That was 15-8, 15-6.
Okay. 23 points in 11 minutes.
So the whole match was 11 minutes?
No, just the first game.
Oh, okay. And the
But-
whole match was what, 25?
Yeah, something
including
like that.
between games.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
you just don't.
Five, serves
Usually,
three.
when it's like that, you don't see the higher scores.
Short.
Vic seems to be coming to life here now, like you said, loosening up. He's hit a couple
Second
of
serve.
really hard low kills. Emmett battling a bone bruise on his right hand. You know, it's funny, Dave. Some tournaments, oh, that was terrible. Some tournaments you leave feeling like you're ready to start another tournament that day, and other
Three,
times you're
serves five.
so banged up you can't imagine ever playing again. That's a great shot from Emmett.
Four, serves five.
And I feel that the pro players are constantly in search of the formula that makes them not feel like they're hurt. Because they look back and say, I didn't do anything different when I prepared. I don't feel like I put myself out any differently. It must have been something I ate. You know, something that had gluten, something that, you know, how they treated their body afterwards or before. And so it's a constant struggle
Five.
or in search of that formula that makes you figure your body out.
Not a good shot there from Vic.
Not a good one from Emmett either.
3 bad shots in a row.
No screen there.
Vic wanted that shot.
Six, serves five.
You can
Big
see that
setup here.
Vic is really pounding the ball right now.
Side out.
He's frustrated with himself because he knows that he
Five,
gave
serve
Emmett a
six.
setup and Emmett put it down in the ground.
Short. Second serve.
I don't know that you want to hit these slow serves to Emmett because he gets into these rallies, which is what he wants.
Side out.
And that was a terrible error there from Vic.
Six, serves five.
Yeah, Chris just passed me a note. That first game Marcos played against Sean was 26 combined points in 11 minutes. 15-11 was the score. Game number 1.
On R2, it's reported as 15-8.
No, actually 15-11 on R2.
Okay.
That's where Chris got the.
Emmett playing pretty close here. He's shading a lot of these shots right back to himself.
You know, and having the
7,
referee
serves
on
5.
that left upper side, they're able to look down that lane, and it's almost impossible for them to even want to call a screen. We get to see it from the dead center where it is a screen. Referee sees it right down the
8,
lane there.
serves
As you can
5.
see, his angle, there's his hand in the right side of the screen. So he doesn't see a screen. You know, I don't mind referees calling matches like this.
Side out.
Most of the players would rather, you know, play through some of these picks. It's just when they inconsistently will call one at a crucial time when they've been allowing it the whole time. You know, because here
5
the referee's
foul.
allowing that close play, but then if it gets down to a tiebreaker and it's the final couple points and then you call one of those just out of the blue when you haven't called them the whole match, that's when it becomes kind of hard to digest. Peixoto's up 7-5. It's a one-gamer to 25, and you have to win by 2. Emmett got to 13 yesterday against you and could not
5,
get the
serves
last
8.
2 points to go into halftime, and he just told me a few minutes ago before this started, it was exactly what you and I spoke about. He said playing this one game to 25 is like playing 3 games. He said it's all mental.
Vic has put a couple of these pass shots just in the perfect spot where they die and bounce twice just before the back wall, and Emmett's made those big sprints all the way back there thinking he'd have a chance.
6,
But
serves
In
8.
order to do that, Dave, you have to hit over the top of the ball so it doesn't pick up off that back wall.
I've never seen anyone do it consistently except for Paul Brady. He seems to hit with a big reverse, and he hits it so hard, but it hits the floor and double bounces before the back wall, despite being hit so hard and actually not being hit that low.
I've seen other players hit that ball, like Sean Lenning, for example, will hit
7,
it so
serves 8.
hard, and it hits 1 inch on the back wall and pops up 2 feet because you hit it with a natural hook instead of the reverse as a right-hander. Vic is able to do it, and it's sort of
out.
like that old Dave Chapman punch fist shot where the ball
8,
wouldn't come
serves
up.
7.
Vic has had no answer for this slow serve to his left hand. He's either set the ball up or almost set up, and the ball ends up in a sort of a weird spot.
Well, Vic does not like to play the slow game at all.
Surprised Emmett went for a kill there. That's not
7, serves
normally
8.
his shot selection from that spot. Must have felt that Vic was hanging back.
He was really far back.
Now Vic should be fly killing that return, but he's not. I'll tell you, Dave, no one has mentioned this, but of course I would. It's hard to fly kill on this court because of those signs. You lose the ball in those black signs, and you lose it just a split second, but it's enough to really throw you off.
Yeah,
It's frustrating.
you're right. You're the only one to bring it up.
Yes.
Marcos yesterday said he has no problem with it and likes it.
8, serves 7.
When I brought up the fact that, can you see out of that? He goes, I think it's cool. But Marcos isn't really a fly kill guy, is he?
Yeah, I would say he is.
He'll step in and punch balls, but not really fly killing
9,
corners.
serves 7.
I could be wrong.
I think Marcos is a fly kill artist.
That's a nice shot there from Emmett.
10, serves 7. Short. Second serve.
I just feel like Emmett is completely in control here.
He's dangerous from there, though.
Side out.
That's an amazing shot there from Vic.
Yeah,
We haven't seen much of that. Well, not in this match, certainly. Taking the ball off the side wall and putting it in the same corner.
7, serves 10.
It's such a hard shot, but he does it so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's his patented shot.
That's 2 bounces, right? Or did you get it? 2 bounces. Thank you.
There's a Vic Perez ace. So that's 2 left side crack
Ace
aces,
serves
but he
10.
hasn't gone for it that much. I mean, he's probably gone for that serve 6 times and gotten an ace twice. So you say to yourself, well, why not go for it more? The odds are in your favor.
Well, I think he went for it a couple times and hit it 3 feet up on that wall. And I think the reason why he didn't go for it more is because it just his body's stiff. But he went for it again right
9
afterwards.
serves 10.
So right
missed
there,
it.
it was an ace serve and then a good serve and a kill for 2 points quickly.
See,
Vic
that's a
steps in
shade.
front there. Look at this shot.
It didn't seem to affect Emmett, but having him come across Emmett on that play,
Well,
I guess
I'm
he
not-
couldn't have done anything else.
I've taken the self-vow this morning. Realized I was talking too much about the refs, and I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
Not today, at least.
During this
10-10.
match, is there?
No, whole day I've
Oh,
committed.
wow.
10-10.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm there.
Well, we're all together at 10 now.
Well, Vic Perez has really elevated his game in the last, 4 rallies. He got the side out, and then he's now scored 3 straight points. 1 ace, 1 kill, and
10
then that
serves
amazing
10.
punch skinny V pass, fly pass.
See, that was almost a crack serve. No appeal from Vic.
I saw it good. They both disagree.
Wow, Emmett's not going to like that.
Second serve.
Now, Emmett could go to a video
Yeah,
if he wanted to.
I think Emmett knows it was short. You know, Vic's crack serve on the left, it has you
Second
so on
serve.
edge that when the ball doesn't crack, you've expected it to crack, so now you can't really take a full swing at it.
But if it misses, he has a huge natural hook that pops into that wall and then comes and eats you up. Kind of the way John Bike used to do it to the right side.
Big setup here for Vic. But you see Emmett's in good position there, so no matter what shot Vic hits, unless it's a flat rollout. Now Vic takes that ball behind himself and still has enough strength to hit a great kill.
Oh, man. Sorry.
One thing you cannot account for, Dave, is watching, sitting here in the comforts of our air-conditioned booth, the fatigue that sets in with these guys. I mean, you're talking about they've played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but even within this one match, even if it was just one match, you're hitting 30 or 35 shots in a rally. You're diving, running, swinging hard, reaching, crouching, bending.
And then 10 seconds to recover.
Okay.
If
11
that.
serves 10.
Most of the time it's about 7, I think is what our
So,
stopwatch said.
you know, when you see some of these shots that you say, well, what just happened there? Well, what happened is it's hard to breathe.
And the courts are hot. Maybe
Well, it
today
feels
it's
freezing out here,
Yeah.
you know, in the booth, but that's a
Side out.
terrible air there from Vic.
Friday and Saturday, they were very warm in there. So then you get that kind of
10
humid
serves
feel in
11.
there, and you're
Okay.
struggling for air to begin with.
All right.
I mean, it's been 101 degrees here for a couple days. Yesterday was kind of the nice day where it only got up to 87, but nice get. Vic goes to the right here, misses.
How's Emmett still in this rally? He might win it. Vic is really punishing Emmett in this rally. But I'll tell you, Dave, you're punishing somebody, and sometimes you're the one being punished. You're still hitting the ball, too. It's not
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
well, they're doing everything. I'm just, I'm leading the tour here. Leading the tour is also tiring.
It is.
11 serves 10.
That's why I laugh when people say,
Short.
run them around. Well, that's also tiring.
It is. Yeah, no, it is. And sometimes when the guy's doing all that running back and forth,
Uh-huh.
it's not
Second
as
serve.
bad as what's going on with you because
Right.
you're holding your breath and hitting
Yeah.
the harder shot to
Right.
force them to go
Yes.
run. And that takes so much out of you.
Yeah. Oh, frustrating there for Emmett. Does not put that away, but he's got another look. I mean, how many times do you see it in these pro matches, Dave, where the guy that should win the rally doesn't?
A lot.
I mean, really. This is just really grueling handball right now. Vic tries to reset it, but that's too short.
Well, it's been about 4 rallies in a row that have been grueling.
I mean, if Vic's not tired right now, then he is the fittest guy in handball.
Yeah. Vic, how are your gloves? Can you change your shirt too, Emmett, please?
This is brutal.
2 minutes.
Well, it's 11-10 here.
Well, I'll tell you, last year at the end of the season, Emmett couldn't have withstood this kind of pace. You saw him fall apart
Yeah.
physically and then mentally because he was just too exhausted to continue. You saw what happened in Salt Lake City against Iglesias. He got to match point. You see Vic here. Couldn't get that match point, and from there just completely crashed physically and ended up losing 15-1 in the third game. Never recovered.
And this is just one of those long rallies that shows you, even in slow motion, you can kind of feel what these guys are going through. Emmett's missing a lot of his shots. He's trying to slide these balls down the wall, and they're checking up on the sidewall, and that's just fatigue. And then Vic tries to put it away, and he can't do it because he's also tired.
Is he, though?
Yeah, he's absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I know he's not breathing hard right here as he walks by, but you can't go through all of this and just say, yeah, I feel perfect.
Okay.
You can tell because he's missing his shots. He's setting up his feet, and he's missing corners. He's trying to slide balls like Emmett is doing. It's not easy. Obviously, if he was able to go in there and play freely, he would be making those shots. He's not executing them.
Now, Emmett's a long way from re-entering the court. I mean, he's got 3 more gloves to put on.
Well, the ref told him to change his gloves and his shirt. There's Emmett putting on his stuff, his gear. These players both want to get this win, and it's exactly like what we thought it would be. I see the referee just really watching him in
10
here.
seconds.
Emmett has a smile on his face like, well, this is as fast as I can possibly go.
Well, I don't know what the ref's going to do here.
Come on, Emmett.
Now, the smart thing is to just bring the gloves into the court because at that point the ref can see that you're trying to put them on.
Now, the ref isn't going to do it, but he could take away a timeout, right? I mean, this was a forced-on timeout by himself.
Right.
Where he told them to go change.
A towel?
It wasn't where Emmett took the timeout and took too long during the timeout. Or he can take away points. What would be the right call if you're going to play it that way? They're not going to do it here, obviously.
Well, it would be a late start penalty, which would be 1 point to Vic.
So Vic would be at 12 to 10, or it's not a minus a point?
No.
Okay.
All right, time in. 10, serves 11. Hold it, yeah. Replay.
Now, we saw one yesterday that was strange. You
serves
weren't
11.
around, but there was
I did hear about it. I think I know what you're going to mention.
Yeah,
Yes.
the foot fault that was appealed by the person that foot faulted.
And that's not legal, and that was a missed call, and Vic was not happy about it.
No, he
and
wasn't.
I don't blame him because that was clearly written in the rules that all the players are sent before every tournament, and that rule was not followed, and I felt
11
badly about
serves
that.
10.
Yeah, we look for you because it didn't feel right that you would be able to appeal your own foot fault.
And I'm surprised Daniel also knows the rules very well. He reads the emails. So I'm surprised he would have.
12 serves 10.
And he really
attempted
instigated that. He
Right.
knew he went over on a foot fault, and he
Yeah.
did. It was a good 6 inches or so.
Right. But I'm
Second
saying
serve.
he would know that that's the Charlie Shanks rule.
Yeah.
So I felt badly when I heard that story. And that was apparently at a critical moment in the match, at 10-12 in the second game, I think. Daniel leading.
Yeah.
So it would have been Vic's serve at 10-12. Instead, Daniel went in to serve at 12-10 and got a couple more points and pretty much put the game on ice.
And it seemed that Vic knew.
Vic did know. Now, I'm surprised he didn't ask you to pull up the email because you have the internet here right in front of you.
Nobody contacted us in the booth.
Okay.
13 serves
Wasn't sure.
10.
But the
point.
referee did leave their spot to look for a rule book. And actually he was going to try to get a validation from the rule book and just couldn't find one.
That's going to be a tough one to interpret. That'll be under interpretations. And
yeah, I think he would have taken the time because he felt like it wasn't right either.
In fact, that may be legal in the USHA rulebook, but it's not legal on the Pro Tour, the WPH Pro Tour. Now, we follow most of the USHA rules with the exception of the scoring, but there are slight differences.
Well, here's the reason why it's an issue, and it should be a rule that's changed
10
universally.
serves 14.
There hasn't been one referee here that has called a foot fault the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to call it, and you're somebody who foot faults, like maybe a Mondo Ortiz would do in the old days, you're foot faulting on every single serve that you serve, and there's never been a call, and then all of a sudden you, in an intricate point, get a short ball.
Yes.
It could be a double fault, and you say, I'm going to video.
Well, the same can be said for calling avoidables. You know, well, I haven't called one all match. I'm not going to call one now at 12-12. What's the difference? And here's Vic now stalling at 14. Got quickly to 14-10 after that long equipment
12
timeout.
serves 14. Short. Second serve.
This is the serve that Vic struggled with. And you see he's setting it up every time. That was sort of a modified paddle.
I think Emmett missed so many of those that this time he's going to guide it in with more of a percentage kill. I think that helps because the next time he has that opportunity, he'll be able to hit it harder. Emmett's found something over here. He just needs to keep that ball on that left wall. That one came out too fast.
Well, Emmett forces you to make really good shots to win the rally. He pushes you into the back court and basically saying, are you willing to gamble and go, 2 inches high from 35 feet? And he's also got a lot of speed to pick it up if you don't put it down.
Oh, he goes for that crack and just misses.
That's a beautiful shot. Is that ball broken?
Halftime, 4 minutes, guys.
These guys aren't questioning it. They're going to take a halftime.
Look at how Vic is able to plant his feet here. Now, this ball I thought was out of his reach. He gets in the perfect position here. Look at that leg strength there. That's a poster shot right there.
It is.
Beautiful swing.
And he also flanks Emmett because he puts that leg out there, takes that step. Emmett now has to respect it because it's during the swing and after swing there. The follow through, he has to go around.
Well, that ball was away from him anyway, but had it been closer, it would have been a good flank, but it wasn't even necessary. But the way he was positioned, there was no way he could move the way his feet were set, and he twisted.
Well, he takes the first half, but that doesn't really mean much when
this
you
match
go to 25.
Really went back and forth.
It did.
We saw a number of lead changes. Vic felt, it seemed like he started slowly, then Emmett was up 10-7, then Vic quickly had really what was his best burst of the game to get to 10-all, and then another burst to get to 14-10. So it's been no more than a 4-point lead for anyone. Now it's a 2-point lead.
You're watching the Race for 8 season number 9 opening ESPN stop, although we've had other stops leading up to this. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Rec Atlanta is the name of the facility, or Recreation Atlanta. Jason Chang doing a great job. I mean, really, they run a really cool tournament here. And it seems like it gets better every single year. Lance Wachholz and E4 Designs sponsoring the Ron Cook Memorial, which is the amateur version of this, which goes on some side courts and a little bit of these show courts. So that's a lot of fun. And Dave, it's kind of a stop that you look forward to.
Yeah, I love this stop. And, I think one of the things that makes it so great is we're really welcomed here. They want us here.
Yeah.
This is something they put on their calendar. They look forward to this. They take a lot of pride in it. And then the club itself, I don't know if I can think of a better spot for one of our pro tournaments. It's, I would say, quaint in the best possible way.
Yep.
Everything is right in front of you. Walk in the door, here are the 2 show courts. They've got bleachers. The food is right there. So it's comfortable. The viewing is great.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's always together in the same spot. We've gone to certain clubs, and the show court is here, and then the rest of the courts are 3 miles away, walking through tunnels and elevators, and you kind of feel like you're not as much part of the tournament. Here, it's the opposite. Everyone is together.
Like a hometown tournament feel.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, great facility, great place to stay. Really fun here.
I like it. I like it a lot. They do a great job with the food, and they kind of prepare for the players, kind of Montana-like. Just got this sort of kind of cool hometown feel, and it is a quaint facility, certainly. So I like that. Here, though, the players just look forward to it. It's also the first real stop of the year. Mm-hmm. The players are geared up for the new season, so you got a lot of positive attitudes. It's kind of a fun thing. I like it. The season goes on. We've had last year I thought was interesting because we had different winners, start off the season. This year is already starting out to be sort of like last year. Mm-hmm. We're going to find somebody other than an Irish player winning a pro stop today when the Cordova brothers go up against each other.
Well, the Cordova brothers are going to break the tie between the two of them. They both have 2 Race for 8 titles, so one of them's going to have 3 after today.
How does that shake up the rankings?
Well, I'm not sure how much it will because they're defending the same
spot.
Points.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I mean, there's a formula for the rankings that all the players know, but I'm not the rankings technician. Right. We have a specialist who works on that, so he'll get the numbers, and we'll probably have the rankings by tomorrow afternoon.
And then, oddly, Killian's defending the same points that he loses to, so that makes probably no movement at 1, 2, 3.
I would think that there's going to be no movement in the top 8. Even though Marco's made the semis, he's still not going to jump into the top 6. But, of course, as the season wears on, those points are going to be more meaningful as players ahead of him are dropping points.
You would say this is meaningful for Emmett.
Well, Emmett also had 3 points here last year, so if he loses this match, he goes to 3.5, which is not that significant because there is a pretty substantial gap between 8 and 9. I did think, and this was just me guessing, but I thought that if John beat Emmett in the first round here, that John would move into the top 8 and push Emmett out because Emmett had the 3 points from last year. John had no points. So John would have picked up at least 3, and Emmett would have dropped points. That didn't happen. So, of course, Emmett's going to stay in his spot. Emmett is not going to jump ahead of Marco, so he'll still be ranked number 8 going into Portland. And then we have another stop before Portland. That's going to potentially shake things up. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a rule that we decided before the season. We're going to have 10 ranked events going into the Memorial this year because the Portland event from December of last year is not going to drop off because we have a Portland event in October.
Right.
But then the Portland event from last December will drop off after Tucson.
So that's where the big shakeup
You'll
could
see
happen.
a lot of shaking up there because Daniel won that tournament.
Right.
You also saw in Tucson last year, guys having big tournaments. Sean Lenning with a win there. So if Sean doesn't win in Tucson and he doesn't do well in Tucson, you could see Sean drop
5.
I mean,
6.
he had 10 points from last year. So let's say Sean lost in the quarterfinals, hypothetically, like he did here, and got 3 points. He would lose 7 points. Now you're definitely opening the door for the Cordovas to jump into that top 3, both of them, and Sean to number 4.
Right.
Now that's hypothetical. And the Cordovas didn't do that well last year in Tucson. Daniel got 5th, and Luis got 3rd.
So there's a scenario where if Killian didn't do well in Tucson or doesn't do well in Tucson and Sean doesn't do well in Tucson, then we could have a Cordova at number 1.
I think, yeah.
Close.
I would
Very
say
close. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say Lucho because he didn't do well in Portland, only got a 6. And he only got a 6 in Tucson. Now I say 13. Not well for him.
Yeah.
Because these guys are used to getting to semis and finals.
That ball was short. Let's see if somebody appeals.
Vic started the second half with a beautiful ace. And then Emmett with a really nice
13
kill,
serve
re-kill.
16. Short.
This is for 5th place here, just tuning in.
Second serve.
And it's been close throughout. Both players really battling each other here. I can see this going another 30 minutes, to be honest.
Oh, this is a great match to watch. And what stopped Emmett in the past from, not to say beating Vic, but being more competitive in these playoff matches against Vic was his fitness. You could see Emmett, after about not even till halftime, but before halftime, completely worn out, playing Vic, and couldn't even really play anymore beyond that. I mean, losing 25-5 and just because he was
16 serves 13.
totally spent.
But here it's different.
Yeah, I mean, Emmett looks extremely fit here. Vic is always steady.
And it's frustrating because of it.
How much, Dave, does Vic's kind of disposition play into his physical stamina? Because it seems like he's so relaxed that he's not wasting any energy being upset with himself, or that took a bad bounce off the front wall.
How does Vic even get a hand on that? And
Right.
it almost
Side out.
makes it. He was passed, and then
Right.
somehow he got his hand on
13
that.
serves 16.
That ball must have really checked in the backcourt. I think his disposition helps him a lot. He's just recording all of what he's seeing from everybody. What you say to him, he records.
Yeah,
He's taking everything in.
yeah.
He reacts to whatever he feels like he needs to. He doesn't dwell on anything. I think it certainly
14
helps.
serves 16.
That was a swing and a miss from Vic on a left-hand paddle shot, which is another whiff right there from Vic. So 2 whiffs in a row.
And now Emmett sort of found another serve here.
Well, I thought this
15
serve is what has
serves
worked the
16.
whole match for him, and I'm surprised he hasn't just stuck to it exclusively. I have not seen, except for that return, I have not seen Vic successfully defend it.
Well, Emmett doesn't do that serve a lot. It seemed
Right.
like in the older days you would see it every now and then. Now, that's probably the first time I've seen it in a couple years from Emmett. And it's one that I think I remember seeing him do years ago.
Now, I would say these guys, if you include practice and playoffs, have matched up about as
16
much as
serves
any 2
16.
players in the last year in pro handball. So they definitely know each other well.
See, he's getting an overhit from Vic on that serve. Vic put it in a good spot there.
I like what Emmett does from the backcourt. He doesn't make mistakes. You know, some guys in the backcourt, they'll put some of these shots in the ground. But Emmett's just keeping the rallies alive. He's not really giving you any fat kind of setups. Any kind of setup is a very slight opening. There's another one. Oh, this is sort of a setup, but not.
That's a huge setup.
Side out.
But Emmett was there. I mean, that ball, pretty fortunate for Vic that it stayed down on the side wall.
We're all together at 16. We're going to 25. You have to
serves
win by
16.
2. Since these two can't seem to
Short.
get any distance between each other, this might go into overtime. That one's short. Vic going for
Second
the crack
serve.
serve.
Oh my gosh, what a terrible break. Emmett has a huge setup in the front right.
Hits it
And
too high.
Hits it too high, and Vic flips one that should have been an even bigger setup, and it does that crazy thing off the back
17
wall.
serves 16.
Vic goes for that crack. Nice return there from Emmett. Vic hits that party ball. Such a good feeling when you think you've hit the front wall, back wall, and it hits that ceiling, and you're saved.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's like
That
kind of
is.
like hitting a tree in golf, and it bounces back into the middle of the fairway.
16
It's like
serves
that.
17.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's 2 times now that Emmett didn't execute when he was
17
Up
serves
front.
16.
17 to 16.
The most important shot in this match, because neither guy is really serving aces, is the return of serve. And Emmett's return has been a lot more consistently defensive, putting Vic in the backcourt, whereas Vic's giving Emmett a lot of setups off his serve, and Emmett's not capitalizing.
Right.
So I feel like if Emmett
18 serves
would
16.
start capitalizing, he's the favorite here,
Short ball.
because Emmett's return of serve has just been outstanding here. Even on some of Vic's good serves that are hitting the
Second
left
serve.
wall, Emmett's putting them in good spots.
That's a good shot.
And, you know, people ask me, what's the difference between the really top elite and then the next group? And you can say that it's, you know, a little bit of power, a little bit of
16 serves
conditioning.
18.
But really, the return of serve, you'd have to say, is the most important thing, because you play guys that are outside the top 8, and you can count on a lot of first strike opportunities,
17,
3-shot
18.
rallies. You play these elite players,
17,
and you're not
18.
getting that look.
Absolutely agree. I do believe it's the best shot, or the most important shot is that return of serve. Absolutely.
I think if you went into the
Side
court
out.
with one of these guys that maybe are not in the top 8 and just rallied without a serve, it'd be very, very competitive. But when you add that serve and return into it,
Yeah.
now you can see a
18,
lot of
serve
separation.
17.
I agree.
And
Point.
Emmett puts another one in the ground there. Surprised that he forced that shot because
19,
he
serve 17.
hasn't been shooting that ball in this match. And that time he
Side
goes
out.
for the same shot and locates it perfectly.
17, serves 19.
You heard some clapping there. Emmett's got his very good friend from Watsonville, who now lives in Atlanta here, hosting him and cheering for him, also serving as kind of a personal trainer, nutritionist, and bandmate, Dave. These guys make records together. So it's always nice when you can travel 3,000 miles and feel like you're at home.
Yeah, that's true.
And Vic uses his body perfectly
out.
there, boxing Emmett out, which was completely legal, backs Emmett towards the back wall, and then
19,
opens
serve
up that
17.
right corner.
Point.
There it is again. I think
I
that's
saw
a
it good. He
fourth.
appeals.
I thought that was short at first
Short.
glance.
One agrees, one disagrees.
And
What-
Emmett
what's
may
gonna
go to
happen?
I'm gonna call
video
it
here.
point.
He doesn't, though. Maybe Chris can load this up
20,
after this rally when we have a chance to see it now. Now, I wouldn't go to a towel here because I
20,
wouldn't want
17.
Emmett, if I was Vic, to go to a video replay here. That looked good, though.
It did look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as a player, I want to serve as quickly as possible so that
Right.
there can be
Yeah.
no more
Yeah.
appealing.
I agree.
Like when I called that avoidable on John Iglesias at the end of the first game, Emmett was off the court with his gloves off within 5 seconds because he knew if he
20,
hung around,
serve 17.
I
Yep.
could change my mind.
Yeah.
And I looked over at Emmett. He already had his shirt off and gloves.
And he did that on purpose. He was
No,
trying
it was smart.
Yeah. But it's also an indication that he didn't think it was an avoidable.
No, he did think it was avoidable, but he also knew that
Look
John
out
was
for it. I
going
thought
to
it
be
was fine.
talking about
I
it
thought
and
I thought it was far over here.
potentially convincing me.
I don't think you could appeal a screen. I thought it was over here. I'll look out for it. I didn't think that was
That
a
ball was
screen, though.
down. I don't know what
So he's
Emmett
talking
is.
about, I think, the screen serve.
I think he's talking about the kill shot. He thought he was screened on that
Oh, okay.
crack shot.
21, serve 17.
There's been a couple calls now in a row that have. There's another
Oh my
ace.
God.
Now
That's
Vic is starting
1
to pull it
minute,
at 5.
first
It is
time out.
5. Yep. Because that one wasn't overturned, and that makes it 5.
So he's got 5-8. He's right on pace of the Malkern's match. Well, he had
No.
12 and 30 points, so now he's got 5 and 22.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's about half. Now, if you think about it, the leader in aces per game to 15 on tour of aces, 2.1, Killian Carroll. So Vic he averaged 6 per game. That's triple what the average leader would get per game.
Yeah.
And you know how important that serve is to Killian Carroll. He's winning matches on getting 2 aces a game.
Yeah.
So when you add another 4,
You're spotting yourself points.
yeah.
And it's frustrating if you're playing against somebody that's getting aces. It's really frustrating.
And you're not.
Yeah, I mean,
And doesn't it always feel that way that
Well,
when
there's
your
nothing
opponent's
you can
getting
do.
aces, then you don't get them?
yeah. But it's the only time, really, that you're out of control and you have nothing to do with that actual shot. I mean, because you don't have a chance to defend an ace serve.
Right.
And you didn't control the shot before it because
I'm
it's
in.
just the first serve,
22,
first shot
serve
of the
17.
that gets the serve going. That could have been maybe
That's
short.
a nice return.
You know, Emmett doesn't score points in bunches. So
It's a great shot. You talk about playing defense on the run when you think you're totally out of position. Now, this is a point Vic should have won 3 times, and he might not win it. Now he's out of position. Emmett's in control here.
crowd like that.
This is a crucial rally in this match for both guys. I know you're saying, well, Vic's up 22-17. Vic wins this, I think he can stamp his 5th place. If he doesn't, this is anybody's game. What a rally. This is incredible. Emmett Feathers thought he would let that come off the back wall, but he didn't.
I really like that last shot from Emmett.
But that was coming off the back wall, wasn't it?
It was, but watch this. Look how it comes back to the right wall after it
Okay.
hits the ground. I think Vic sees that and says, if this comes off the back wall, it might be scraping the side wall when it comes back. So
that was really high-quality stuff. Both guys had a couple of back wall setups with their right.
17
They had to
22.
move back and set up for him, so those aren't really the automatics.
well, and also Emmett's been missing that back wall kill shot low, so he decided to go high, and he almost hit too high.
This is a party ball hitting everything. And Vic just completely shanks a left. That's his 3rd whiff with his left in the second half.
Emmett's not happy with himself either because
But he's a lot happier than he
18
would have been if
22.
Vic made that.
But he missed his shot doing it.
That's another poor shot from Vic. Wow.
Are you kidding me? That was like a punch fist.
No, I think that was open hand because that ball hit the front wall and took off with a big natural.
Watch his fist here.
Okay.
Well, let's just see.
No.
No, that's an open hand. He shut his hand right before he hit it and then opened it up.
Well, you can't hit a fist and have the ball jump to the left. That extreme. A fist is going to hit the front wall and completely straighten out.
22 serves 18.
Yeah, that's interesting. He closed his hand and then opened it right at the last second. It's kind of like a highlight shot.
Now, Vic's going to win this match.
Second serve.
I believe he's going to have to score a point here in this inning. Great shot there from Emmett. I sense that Vic is getting stuck on 22
18
here.
serves 22.
He's had 2 very good chances to win that 23rd point.
Frustrating.
It's a good shot from Vic, but it's a shot that Emmett
serves
should
18.
return.
And would normally make that back to the front wall.
Short.
Vic is not staying down on his serve. You see, he's
Second
not
serve.
staying in that with his knees bent. And those serves are coming up short as a result. Talk to Sean Lenning, Dave. I said, were you nervous at 12-all against Fergal Coughlin in that first round? He said, no, I just had to remember to bend my knees on my serve.
Which one? I thought he got it.
I thought.
So, that was.
We're talking about
18 serves 22.
bending your knees, is what you're saying?
Short.
I was saying Vic's not bending his knees right now on his serve. That's why his serve's coming up short.
Second serve.
That ball hit Emmett on the way up.
'18 serves 22. Short.
Now remember, Vic has lost a couple of really painful playoff fifth place matches. He led Luis Cordova 24-18 and lost that 26-24. That was a match of the season, one of them. Now I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but I'm saying anything can happen.
True.
In these.
22 serves 18.
See what if he goes for that crack.
Short.
He was way off on that. That ball landed about the foot fault line.
Second serve.
Have not seen this serve. I like that serve. Great return from Emmett. And Emmett likes this game, playing in the back corners.
Smart.
Yeah. Vic, 4 chances now to score 23. He's come up
18 serves
empty
22.
each time.
Yeah, but Emmett's coming up empty on his
Short.
step in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could have made this a tie game if he could
Second
score
serve.
once every time he gets in there, but he hasn't scored any of those times.
Well, Vic's had a lot of setups to get 23. Emmett, not so much. Nice 3-ball shot there from the back corner from Emmett. Wow, what a shot. And that's what you talk about, Dave, that defense from seemingly an impossible position.
Emmett plays that high wraparound game as good as anybody.
Side out.
And Vic just
But
breaks.
that's, I mean, Emmett forces you to make a shot like that. That's not
Vic,
an easy
how are
shot.
your gloves? 2 minutes. Yours are good? How's your shirt, Emmett? Can you change it too?
It's going to be a glove and a shirt change here. You're watching the Race for 8 Stop Atlanta. This is men's 5th place final earlier today. Martin Mulkerns got
18.
past Leo Canales, our referee, by winning that one in the 9th place final.
I just saw Emmett's gloves. It looked like he dunked them in a swimming pool. I don't know how he was playing with them for so long.
Well, the referee spotted it, and he's going to have him make a complete wardrobe change.
Oh, we're going wardrobe here.
Ref really watching Emmett, too. Look, I mean, I'm seriously, not because he's changing his clothes, but because he wants to make sure that he's spending his 2 minutes, you know, doing exactly what he wanted him to do. Change gloves, change shirt.
So he's a potential next-gen referee of the year also then, I think is what.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you watch him, he's really
watching him like a hawk, and he's in the hawk's nest.
He's looking at his stopwatch. He's going back to where Emmett's at. He wants to make sure he gets in there and does his thing. The score here is 22-18. It's a one-gamer to 25, and you have to win by 2.
How hard is it, Dave, when someone's beaten you 3 or 4 times in a row and you get close? Do those doubts start to creep in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree.
Especially if you get close each time, and it becomes more worse because you say, I'm making these corrections that I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I went back, I corrected it. I'm getting 1 point closer, but I just can't get over the mountain. It's interesting dynamic. They seem really close, but right now the score at 22-18. Perez could go on to make it 25-18, and you say, yeah, he just did what he always does. But if you watch this match, you'd say it's anybody's ball game all the way through.
I still feel like it's very much 50-50 right now. Although you'd have to give the edge because of the scoreboard to Vic here.
Well, but Emmett doesn't score in bunches. He methodically scores points. He doesn't go in there and hit, 3 points in 5 minutes or 30 seconds or it takes a while for him. Now, he's had his best opportunity to score points here in the last 10 minutes, and he can't put one on the scoreboard, and neither can Vic.
Well, we'll see if Vic can find his back wall kill with his right hand, because that's normally one of his best shots, but he's not hit them well here in the second half. Now, just as I said, he gets the chance, does nothing with it, and Emmett with a crazy, lucky shot. But that's Vic's fault for letting Emmett still be in the rally after that back wall setup.
Ball got wet.
Yeah, that hit Vic in the leg after it hit all the side walls, its front wall.
18-22. Short.
If you just tuned in, we have the men's final scheduled to air right
Second
now.
serve.
But we have the conclusion of this men's 5th place final.
I'm surprised you don't see guys using power serve on the second serve after you've hit short. You've hit it short, so you've already got the feel. The reason you hit short is because you haven't served in a little while and you're coming in cold.
Side out.
That's a great shot from Vic.
Another side out, though.
Yeah. But you're coming in cold. Now you've located. You've got the feeling. Now you just are ready.
22 serves 18.
The second free throw is always easier than the first, right?
Yep.
Short.
Yeah.
That's missing another one of those
Second serve.
cracked serves, but way short.
That's a terrible serve. Emmett does okay with it.
This is going to check up. See what Emmett does here.
Not enough. Big hop, but still not enough. Wow, what a shot. He converts the hardest shot that I didn't even think was a setup.
18 serves 22.
Dave, you guys have been stuck on 18 and 22 now for 7 minutes. And if you include well, of course it ends there, but if you include the glove timeout, 9.5 minutes.
19 serves 22.
This is the first points we've seen in a while. Since since Vic brought it to 22. Months ago.
Oh, terrible. This will be 20.
But it isn't.
Okay. To get my eraser out.
Emmett just not aggressive enough when he needs to be. He's
Well, he's
leaving
trying
the
to
balls
hit
high.
it low, but he just didn't go low. I mean,
But the times that he
22
got his
serves
points
19.
are when he hit it low.
yeah.
On
Well, he was
times
trying to
when-
hit that one 2 inches high. It just popped up on him. What a great left there from Vic. Somehow controls that, puts it right down the wall. Wow.
Nice dig right there.
Wow. I'm worried about them slipping on that wet spot.
Nice get.
That's amazing. That is just unreal. The hustle from these guys, Dave.
Here's the
And the
first one.
defense on the run.
think over
Okay,
here by
Emmett
the right-
should have put that
right
one
side
away.
mark.
He's going to be definitely upset with himself
Well, he's
there.
exhausted.
Right.
He already dove earlier.
Yeah.
And that was his third visit to the right wall.
Yeah.
4 visits to the left wall. And this is a little bit earlier. Watch this.
This is a great get here.
But then the next one.
Look where he puts it, though. Vic plays the smart shot there. Sometimes when you've hit a great shot and your opponent picks it up and puts it into kind of a neutral position, you feel like, oh, I need to shoot this one. But Vic was patient there. He reset
That's
it,
true.
which
Yep.
is hard to do because
Yeah.
when you feel like the rally should be
23
over,
serves
you just
19.
force your shot.
Mhm.
I don't know if Emmett's out of timeouts here, but I think he probably could use one. And that's just so frustrating. You've worked so hard the whole
24
match.
serves
And you let your
19.
opponent get right to the finish line on an air like that.
Short.
And I know because I do it, and it's just a terrible feeling. It's almost like, well, I did an hour of work
Second
and just
serve.
gave it all away with one
Yeah.
terrible swing. Because, you know, you're playing these matches, they're going to be close. There's no avoiding it.
This is match point here. Vic needs to score one. It looks like he's going to hit it right at the feet of Emmett. He's able to get it back to the front wall.
Vic should have won this rally many times.
Right
And
to
the signature
Good match,
shot.
guys.
one to his favorite shot right there. Off the court will
Good
be
play.
where we hold the interview here as Vic Perez comes out after winning this 5th place title, securing at least even points from last year in the rankings, and probably maintaining his ranking in the race for 8. And a big congratulations to him. We have him courtside now with Kara Mack. Let's go to her. Kara?
They're sending their big congratulations. Share with me the significance of this one for you.
Well, it's the 5th place playoff is always a good chance to kind of redeem yourself after losing a really close one, especially the one that I lost yesterday against Daniel. So it kind of shows the crowd a little bit more of the things that you can do as a player. So in a way, it's kind of like redemption in a way. To kind of prove yourself you belong in the top 8.
I think the crowd had a lot of fun watching that one. Great rallies going on. Are you thinking that while you're out there?
Not at all. Every time we play Emmett, we seem to have like 5-minute rallies, and we always tend to get each other's shots because we play each other every so often, so we kind of get used to each other's game. So yeah, none of that really goes through my mind. To me, it's just like another day at practice, and it's just a routine.
This tournament, share how you feel going out of it for yourself.
I feel pretty good. I had a pretty good win against Martin Mulcairns. He's like one of the best players in the world, so getting a win against him is really, truly special, even though it took a lot of aces to beat him. But I feel pretty good. I think we still have a lot of work to do, and we look forward to Tucson.
Just a few weeks until Tucson. What are you going to be focusing on doing in this off time?
Maybe practicing my left. My left is still a little bit rusty, so I got to go in there and practice 100 shots with my left, pass, ceilings, everything, so that way I can be ready. Tucson's going to be really tough, so I look forward to it.
Really fun to watch you this weekend. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yep. Thanks, Kara. Great interview from Vic.
Well, the best. The best, actually.
Really? I
Yeah,
mean-
but Vic did not mention that he'll also be at the Portland Classic Race for 8 light stop. That's in 2 weeks. So he's a big name that's entered in there, so
Wow.
you can look forward to seeing him there. Vic is going for all the points this season, as he should be doing. And you're going to see a pretty strong field there in Portland. There's talks that perhaps Sean Lenning, the Cordova brothers,
Wow.
will also be in that
You're going to
field.
be in that.
I will,
You're in the top
yes.
5, top 4.
5.
5, okay.
Yeah. And
Wow, that's
looking
great.
forward to it.
Well, we have the men's final coming up right around the corner. And we have a good presentation for that, too. So we want you to stick close. Tell all of your friends and family and even your foes, the people that you don't like or don't like you, let them know.
With them.
You're in contact with them. Actually, they're in contact with you. But certainly get a hold of your foes and let them know that this broadcast is on.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a doozy. We have the Cordova Brothers Part 2 coming up right around the corner. The finals for the men here at the Race for 8 in Atlanta, Georgia, as the E4 Design Ron Cook Memorial continues on ESPN3 and the Watch ESPN app. Stick close. We'll be back in just a bit with more action with the World Players of Handball.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall.